So as far as capabilities are concerned, a couple things I'd ask about. I'm going to give you some misnomers that a lot of marketing companies are going to say, and to help you understand what's a sales tactic and what's actually real. Okay.
Sure.
So a lot of times a client will call in and they'll say, hey, do you guys do, one of the ones that we hear all the time is, do you guys do geofencing or geotargeting?
If we have a social call, it always brings this up.
Somehow this comes up.
I don't know.
I get why. The concept is that, they want to make sure their ads are not run like we're in Texas right now. We used Collin County as an example. They want to make sure that if they're trying to run their ads in Collin County, they're not being run in
Oklahoma.
In Oklahoma. There you go. So no problem.
Yeah.
So okay, I get it. But that term is a bit marketing jargon to just say, hey, are we locationally targeted?
Yeah.
The answer is going to be always, every single time, yes. If you're a national client, we're still going to locationally target, because we're going to want to make sure that we're hitting the low-hanging fruit of the people who are like, man, this city's like really hopping for some reason. Like, okay, we got to zero in on this one. So all that being said, make sure that when you are hearing capabilities, that you're drilling down into that a little bit more. Every marketing company better be putting parameters on where their ads go. So we'll target based off of zip code, we'll target based off of city, and then we'll drill down even further into that and incomes, all that kind of stuff. Absolutely. Social habits,
all of it.
We're going to consider every single piece of that as we're putting together a plan for you. But that's one of them that's just kind of like, I've had clients call me before and be like, hey, they're saying that we can do this and we're not doing this right now. I'm like, that's not what that is. So it came from,
or if it is, just they don't know what they're talking about. Like,
it came from, this is really interesting. I
think I know where it came from, but I want to see if this is legit.
So the term came from, newspapers were losing so much money.
Oh, this is not where I thought this was going. They
started becoming marketing companies. And so they started doing things like saying things like, well, you can advertise on our website for this amount of money. Well, banner ads on a website, 99% of the time are bad buys.
Yep.
We do that with almost none of our clients.
Yep. It works better in the e-com space, I think, than it does.
There's some spaces that it works.
I hear what you're saying.
But for the most part, small businesses,
I don't think we have a single client right now that we're running any type of banner ads for.
There you go. So for the most part, it's a bad buy. It's the cheapest click for a reason. And so a lot of times they'll sell it just for their website. So they're upcharging because it's their specific website they're doing it for. So they'll sell it for their specific website. And then they'll start talking about geo-targeting. And they'll start saying stuff like, when you show up, it'll like give a notification on your phone. Stuff like that. Well, that's a Snapchat technology. Like Snapchat did some stuff where you can draw lines around a building, and if you're in there, you have access to certain filters that other people like across the wall don't have access to, which is a pretty neat technology.
Yep.
The problem
I actually have a Snapchat filter for Luke's.
There you go. That's fantastic.
I don't even know how it got put up there, but next thing I know is I was like, wow, I have a Snapchat filter.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So all that being said is there may be an app that gives a notification when they walk into a location, all that kind of stuff. But anytime you're trying to get somebody to use a specific app, download this, all that kind of stuff, it doesn't make sense.
Well, or just in the standpoint of like how many people really click on an ad.
There's this brilliant
on a site for something else.
Right.
Like if you're on a forum looking up how to replace a car engine motor, unless that's an ad about a tool that's going to help you fix the engine motor better, you're not going to have a home HVAC repair ad on a car engine repair form. We see that kind of stuff all the time.
I always give the example of if I'm on ESPN.com, I'm looking for the score.
Yeah.
I don't care about the shirt you're selling me.
Yeah. But that's an example of where a banner ad potentially could work. Is if it's something along the lines of like, okay, you're looking to replace an engine. Okay, well here's the wrench that fixes your problem or whatever. So if it's an e-com space business, that may make more sense to be on that type of a platform.
But the ability to be that level of targeted is high level. Like you're at that point, what you're spending is insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's and on ESPN.com. If I see a Boston Red Sox shirt when I jump on ESPN.com to check out the Boston Red Sox score, if you are that level of have that level of forethought into your target, then I might actually buy your shirt.
Nah, just because he likes to support good marketing.
But in all likelihood,
dude, this guy knew what he was doing.
That doesn't happen.
That $150 Red Sox shirt.
Done that one time where I was like, "This is so good. I'm gonna
give me that marketer's name. This is brilliant."
I kind of want the product at this point.
I didn't know I needed it.
But I was marketed to. Marketing works regardless if you know it, if you realize it works or not.
Yeah, it does. There's so many things that I've bought off of an Instagram ad or something like that because, hey.
So there is.
Okay. Can I just say this one thing? This is creepy as heck. I sent my girlfriend a ring image, like a ring emoji on Snapchat. I now have ring ads in my Instagram and my Facebook profile. I have not looked up rings ever. I sent her one ring emoji one time in Snapchat, and now I have ads for rings.
Did you Snapchat propose?
What? Isn't that crazy? Like, so, yeah, okay, that was a random tangent, but...
Let me tell you something even crazier than that, because Facebook has over and over and over again said they don't pick up anything audible.
Yeah, but they do.
Split deal ACs.
Yeah, mini splits.
Mini splits downstairs.
We know that because of a client.
Yes. We were talking about mini splits downstairs, and I immediately started receiving that. Like, I opened up my Facebook and swiped, and I started receiving mini split advertisements and had never gotten one before.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, it's kind of weird.
So
pretty crazy.
Anyways, all that being said, we had the opposite. Okay, couple other misnomers are: be very, very careful about people who all they talk about is how many leads come through.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If we go, if all we're talking about is quantity and we never talk about quality, then you can ever do.
We talk about this sometimes with clients when they bring that up. It's like, well, this vendor was talking about 150 leads or whatever. Well, okay. But if you get 150 leads and 3 of them convert, wouldn't you just rather get 6 leads and have 3 of them convert?
Right.
So
it is what ends up happening a lot of times is that's if that becomes the first and foremost way that you sell, then they're usually drawing they're usually going way too big, and their income is way too low. So it just becomes a situation where all they're trying to do is, and when you call them up and you're ticked, it's, yeah, but it was 150 leads. And so they just blame it on everything else. And it's like, yeah, but I was converting way higher than this before. So if all anybody ever talks to you about when you get on a phone call with them is number of leads, that's a sign of, okay, this person is just going to make sure that my inbox is full, which is great, but that's going to be their only priority.
Yeah.
The who is my inbox filled with is not going to be the priority. I will always, and sometimes we get into discussions with clients where they're wanting to go a little bit bigger, and I start we did this last week too, where they're wanting to go a little bit bigger, and I'm like, hang on a second though. If you get 1 or 2 customers from there, that's not a target area.
Yeah.
You have 1 or 2 customers, which is exciting and something worth celebrating, but that's not going to be low-hanging fruit. We're not going to start advertising from there, and they drove 40 minutes to get to you. Right. And now you're going to have 30 people who are excited to drive 40 minutes to get to you. It's not the way this works. And so you want a marketing company that is willing to push back some, to make sure that at the end of the day, the strategy is going to be a strategy that's going to work. It's going to work for you.
And one you're not just endlessly spending money on.
Correct. With nothing, with like, what do I have to show for this?
Yeah.
You're going to want a marketing company that is willing to have those discussions as well, like results discussions. We're constantly fine tuning based off of our client feedback. Like, I want our client feedback. I called clients.
We perform the best when we have the feedback from the clients. Like, it was the same thing yesterday on a call with myself. We were talking about, okay, so what leads do you have and what were they saying?
Yes.
And even from the standpoint of like, okay, well, they didn't quite understand what we did. So now we're making tweaks to the actual website to make sure that before they even submit a lead, they have a better understanding of what that company actually does.
And that may mean less leads come in.
And
but better leads. We let our clients know up front that those phone calls are going to happen. We try to be proactive marketers, not reactive marketers.
Yeah.
A lot of companies out there are proactive, and a lot of companies out there are, we never hear from them, but when they hear from us, it's because we're mad about something.
Yeah.
And we never wanted to have a relationship with our clients like that, where it's like, well, they haven't reached out. So finally I'm going to, and it's because I haven't gotten anything in a month and I'm busy running everything else. We want to make sure that we're in front of you and asking those questions, making sure things are going well. If adjustments need to be made, we're so happy to make those adjustments because we know that seasons change and the way to target people is going to change and updating stuff is going to change, that kind of thing. So all that being said, it's going to be very, very, very important to make sure that you're staying in, that you have a team that wants that kind of feedback. And you'd be surprised, like that sounds like such an obvious one. You'd be surprised how many people it's like, well, we put it together. Like this is what we're going to do.
Yeah. It's more often than not, but
yeah,
which is sad, but hey. Shameless plug, Online Edge. No,
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, is there anything else that you think needs to be thrown in to this? I think it's important to know some of the other questions to ask. Is like if somebody's, there are things that, from industry to industry, you don't necessarily need somebody that specializes in carpet cleaning to help you with marketing for a carpet cleaning company. But it also is a really good idea to have somebody that knows that type of a space versus somebody that maybe does more time in the e-commerce space, because those are two different ways of marketing. And it's two different, it's just two different ideas, you know what I mean? So that would be one of the questions too, is like, all right, do you have more experience in one side or the other? Same thing on the website design build space. So if you're hiring somebody to build a website, do they have the knowledge as far as service space, or are they more on the e-commerce side of things?
Sure. And so here's how I'd kind of wrap it up. If you are wanting to find the perfect marketing company fit for you, you're going to want to make sure that you've got some questions on the upfront. You're going to want to make sure that even in the future, hey, in the future, I'm wanting to do a brand new website. Is this going to be a company that's going to help with that? If not, no big deal. You may use a couple of companies, if that's the case. But you're going to want to know all that information up front so that you are able to just have an educated relationship, a well-informed relationship moving forward. You're going to want to make sure that they're a company that sets expectations for the relationship so that everybody's on the same page with what they want the outcome to be. And when that takes place, man, you got a marketing company at that point that you can move forward with for years and years to come.
Appreciate you guys tuning in. If you liked this video, send us a like. If you want to see more of what we put out there, give us a subscribe. Check it out. Go like us on Facebook, Instagram, all the other places that we're at. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Bye.